I'm just going to ask it. How the fuck did we get here?
I honestly, Ms., I don't know. I'm so super proud of you.
Us,
Hey,
boo.
for real. Who's gonna tell the story first? So it was who called
Which
who?
story?
Who called who or
Well, I
who reached
think I
out to
started
I know
I
what it
started
was.
going
I
nuts
reached
on
out
Instagram,
No, I
or
reached
what?
out to you because grandma
Oh,
had
yeah,
passed.
yeah.
It was right after grandma had passed,
Rest in
and
peace, Granny.
I wanted to go so bad. I was gonna go to the funeral,
I remember that.
and
And I love you for that.
and I
Thank you,
couldn't
love.
get out of bed that day. Like, it was one of those
Wow.
days where, I had a good 5 years of that where it was just
Yeah.
if it wasn't the kids, I just didn't have the strength, the confidence, the anything to show up to the world. And
Love
so
you.
I remember just hitting you and you were like, "Let's go for lunch." And my thought was like, "Oh, he must be
I was a
bawling now."
mess.
But I thought you'd be bawling. Like, I'm like, "Oh, he's bawling now. Everything's good. Now he's going to have his space to do his thing. He's been a caregiver because I know what it is to be a caregiver. I
Yeah,
was a
but I was a
caregiver
mess.
for my father. Yes, you were a mess and I was a mess.
Yeah. We were a
And
mess together.
we were. And when we sat there at Marmalade,
So anyways, we
we met
have
in Calabasas, like,
yeah,
we
that's
both
what I
had
was gonna
things
say.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Like we knew what we were doing. You know,
Yeah.
we put on the good show.
We did
You know what
for
I
each
mean?
other.
Yeah, we're I've got the Instagram thing going. Oh, I'm going through this and that, doing
Yeah.
my little projects and that. And basically by the end of the breakfast, we're both sitting there crying in each other's arms
Yeah.
about, being in this space of hurt puppy is what I
Yeah.
call it. And I think we found the strength together to carry on.
We did, and I wouldn't just call it hurt puppy. Hurt puppy, yes, definitely, but I would call it, which to me is so important to help people that are in that space,
Mm,
that broken, open, black, dark space that you
Yeah.
feel like you can never, ever get out of. Like,
Depression. I
yeah,
was in a serious funk.
yeah.
Can I start look almost 50-year-old guy,
Mhm.
off of the hip hop space, people saying you could never come back, you can never be relevant. Here's all the things they're saying about you. You're blacklisted, you're worthless. You never had anything to do with all of these amazing projects, and now all of a sudden you go pop your head up.
And you, like, believe it. When you
I
hear it,
believed
you
it.
believe it because I know I had some same stuff being
Yeah.
fed to me that I believed, like
Nobody taking my calls.
Mhm.
I mean, let's be literal.
Yeah.
Like nobody taking my calls. Some people that I thought were really in my corner forever
Mhm.
and calling and being, hey, I'm back, dial tone. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it was bad.
Eh,
And I just felt worthless. And that's
yeah.
why I want to say thank you to you if I have never said it. And I love you. And let me tell you that as far as friends go in this business, there's very few. You know what I mean? But somebody that I've always been able to depend on in any moment of my life, and especially at that moment when I needed you most. I needed someone, and I'm just so glad it was you.
Mm,
And just where we've come together in the space, you're gonna make me cry.
I
But
know.
what we've found in each other is a strength that not many people have in this business. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like people don't find each other and stay with each other and find success with each other multiple times.
Well, and just authentically love people the way you and I love people and wanna help people and see people win is so different, and, now I'm learning that not everybody's like that, and
No,
sometimes to an empath like us, it's like,
no.
how do you make it through all of this? But,
Well,
I can remember leaving that meeting with you, and I was just telling you, "You need to show up." I was fighting my way out of a
yeah.
nasty divorce that took forever that I was just finally like, hands in the air, I'm walking
Well,
and
it took two meetings. There was the two meetings. Like it
yeah,
was the first meeting of kind of like, what are we doing?
yeah.
And then it was the second meeting with the matzo ball soup meeting, as I call it. With that second one that really kind of solidified it. You know
You
what I
think
mean?
so?
Well, we had the moments and I was kind of going with the Instagram thing and you were kind of doing your
Yeah.
thing but we still hadn't kind of reeled it in. You know what I mean? Like I hadn't been out yet. You know what I mean? I was still hiding behind the Instagram.
Right,
You
everybody
know what
only
I
saw
mean?
you at that desk,
Yeah,
like, nobody people still don't even know where that desk is, which I can't wait to show that one day, and I can't wait to talk about all of that one day,
well,
and
like Big Boy said, this guy pops up 4 times a day on your Instagram feed. We don't know where he's at, what city he's in. He's
yeah.
behind a desk. There's a couple plaques behind him, and the dude just starts saying this stuff, and then everybody starts talking about
Yeah, and
it.
once we open everything and everybody knows how hard
And
that we fought and
how simple it
yeah,
is,
how simple
and relatable.
synergy is, how
Yeah,
simple being a good human is. So anyways, said to you, just show up,
yeah.
and you were the one who took the challenge and gave us both the strength because when you were I was having people hit me up left and right. "Do you hear this guy just all he's doing is talking about radio. Why aren't you doing that?" And he's on my feed and he keeps coming up on my feed and I'm like, "Oh my
And
god,
you're the puppet master behind it, like
you're
calling me.
talking about Demiza." Oh yeah, and I
Yeah,
would
no,
call you.
no, and
Yeah.
because
Oh, that part. I forgot about that
every
part. I
post, "Are
forgot
you
about that.
sure you wanna," you were the Jewish mother in the background going,
Yeah.
"Are you sure you wanna say it like that? You're coming off a little bit mad rapper, that's not what I want for you, baby." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then, like, I would say something like that. You wouldn't call me for, like, a week and then come back up and be like, "Okay, I've processed."
Yeah. Process it. That's my favorite
You
line.
know,
I've got
maybe it
time.
wasn't quite as bad as I thought.
Maybe you were just being
No, but
honest.
this is my therapy,
Yeah.
and I think that's the one thing about my Instagram that people haven't really gotten yet,
Mhm.
or it's just now starting to get. It's my therapy,
Yeah.
in between whatever I'm doing during the day, I sit down, anything anybody says to me that sticks for more than a second. You know what I mean? I sit down and go, here's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And that's what synergy is too, is being able to relate and going like what we're talking about is we found a meeting place and synergy within our place in life.
Yeah.
Our depression, where we were at, it was so similar. And
Yeah.
that's what the Instagram is, and that's what life is, and that's what synergy is finding the similarities in your journeys and saying, okay, well, we can lock arms and we can make it through that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And to kind of fast forward, and I don't mean to jump because there was a lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
middle, but
We'll go over
yeah,
all that. We've got
in
years to
time,
do this with
in
the
time.
people.
But so it went from that to a 50-year-old dad and a 45-year-old mom.
Yeah.
40,
48.
40,
48. I ain't no
45-year-old
liar.
mom.
48. I will
Yeah,
snitch on myself.
I
Let's go.
know, but uh, you know, out there with the lefty gunplays and young chachas of the
Yeah.
world. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the Warren G's and the Nige and and just out there.
We weren't even trying to brand ourselves as mom and dad. It was just like kinda like,
No.
"Oh, that's mom." Like, "That's mom." Like,
But and doing some of the little projects
yeah.
and really not, like even the healthcare thing or just getting the kids together or squashing beefs,
Uh,
whether it's, you
right,
know,
that you scared the shit out of me, but you showed me it could be done, and then I remembered how important all of that part is, that
yeah.
part, and just the magic of people coming together, but now it's, we'll talk about 2 more down the
Well,
road.
just to touch on that
Okay,
part, I'm not gonna say who,
okay.
but I'm gonna say there were two Los Angeles-based record labels that didn't necessarily see eye to eye, right?
Well, I don't know that they never saw eye to eye, I think they just didn't hang out, they just had never really been together, and
Well,
now
the way I looked at it, it was like Murder Inc. and Death Row,
yeah,
or Murder Inc. and, well,
yeah,
I guess I can't put it like that, but I'm
yeah.
just saying, just
It was just that you know what it
misun
was? The simple no, not even that. It's not even there was nothing it's just the simple fact that everybody's so disconnected with social media that
yeah,
people don't sit down and work together, and that's what you're doing. You're bringing people in rooms to
weird,
sit down and I know, but
sweetheart.
I know.
Nice try.
Sit down and work together.
Well,
And
and
that
that's the
day in that room when you were talking about healthcare, unions, we're doing this, and it was way before this union hype and this whole
well,
healthcare
and
hype for artists. Wait, let me finish.
okay.
And I'm sitting there thinking he's crazy, but this is so dope, looking at the room and everybody in the room, and it was so powerful and inspiring, and here we are now in
I mean,
the
who would have thought
same
that
place.
conversation would manifest into Chapel Rome?
Yep, with our hitmaker family,
Yeah,
like, getting the voice out
yes.
there and
And doing it
still
at the
here with
pharmacy?
Paul. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real people with real love trying to really connect in a world that's just not connected, and that's what we're finding, and I love it, but along the way, we do find things that where we try and teach or help, and that doesn't align and that stuff hurts. So I'm learning how to deal with those hits again and
Yeah.
like, okay,
We are.
you gotta push through, you gotta make it through. You're a little tougher.
Well,
I break.
and I kind of to talk about that and people getting along
Mhm.
is also, I look at you as you're my sister. I love
Yeah.
you, and I know the way, I know what you do. You know what I mean? And I know that you're going to be bouncing between these camps. So another thing in my head is if I don't clear this up now, sis is going to get in the middle of this. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me just fix this really quick and get it over with. I'll just make you a part of this, and maybe you'll be a little overwhelmed by this that you'll forget that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I think that's what's missing in our business period is the magic. It's the smoke and mirrors. It's like, look over here at this where you don't realize that this is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I try to capitalize on that a lot. And I know sometimes, and just for our own thing, is sometimes like I tell you, you don't see what I'm doing in the moment and may not understand what it is, and it may look messy and it may look rough.
And it may feel like shit, and it may be so uncomfortable, and I may
For
wanna run and
you,
hide, but it's like I always try and just now
yeah.
especially, I just step back and I really learning through you to trust the process, not go down the rabbit hole, and worst case scenario, you do some dumbass shit,
Yeah.
but I still love
I
you
make
as a human.
mistakes.
I make mistakes, but I still at the end of the day, we're all human, and we can get through that if we work
Well,
together.
and here's the thing that I do want to say about the mistake thing. I don't have the luxury of not doing my mistakes publicly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I make a mistake, that's why with the Insta or anything like that, if I even say something wrong, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Oh, they're on you.
I I quickly say, hey, by the way, this is where I screwed the pooch.
And I love that about you because a lot of men don't do that. A lot
Oh,
of men I think that's like that to me is the hardest part as a woman about dealing with men is the lack of
well,
accountability.
let me tell you what
So,
it's like dealing with a
tell
woman.
me,
No,
I'm
I'm
here
just
for that too. But,
well, especially you, Miss
I know.
Maintenance.
Oh, I
No, I'm just
know.
kidding.
I know. I will process it for days, baby. I will
I love it.
process
Which
and
rabbit hole are we
process.
going down
Yeah.
today, Kool Aid? No, I'm just.
You know when you call me and I'm in my onesie with the hood on
No,
and
I
it
know if I don't get a call in the morning, then I start in my rabbit hole. Okay, what rabbit hole is she going down today?
yeah.
And sometimes I give you your space and just be like, okay, I don't want to add to it, but I don't know if I should. And I think also to kind of reel it back into what we're doing here
Yeah.
is, the podcast we've been talking about starting.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
wanted
mean?
you to.
And we both have so many things going on, but it's always together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you out there doing your thing. And by the way, I was so proud of you at the brown bag thing.
I know.
I saw
Me
the
too.
little Letty
Me too.
she said,
They've given me such a
uh,
step up. They've
and
given me such a
and as
light. I
much trash as
appreciate
I
them.
give radio, that's the one thing that's right. So you know
It's
what I
brown
mean.
bag.
So
Yeah.
I love them, and I know you got to go because it's a concrete thing tonight,
And do
and do
know
know, and I love
my
those
whole
guys.
initial camp that pulled me out of the
Oh,
gutter, and now so let's
and concrete, I've known
oh,
concrete
yeah,
since
forever. So, I was Santa Barbara House.
yeah.
He's been through it all
He
with you,
met
but
grandma. I mean, we're
right.
20
He's
years.
OG, but
Yeah,
so here's the thing, though. So, quick jump forward from that is
yeah,
that's where we were, and I want people to understand that. We'll talk about that journey down the road a little more, but I
yes, ma'am.
really wanted this show to be about you because you wanted, "Kool Aid, host it with me, such and such,
Yeah,
host it with me, do this." I'm like, "No, Ms., this is you. I want you to sit down one-on-one and kick the game and knowledge that only you the facts you have, you're an
but I
incredibly
can't do it without you, boo.
I
I
know
can't
you
do
can.
anything but
You're a
alone.
brilliant human and you're gonna rock this. So again, we were in that dark space, but now we are out here in the streets, at the OnlyFans houses, at the with every single rapper you
Oh
can
yeah, what are
connecting
you
every
doing? Wait,
we'll
hold,
talk about
stop,
that later. No,
stop.
we'll talk about that
No, no,
later.
no, no, no.
No, we'll talk
No,
about
you ain't.
that
What are
later.
you doing?
Creators Inc. house, I kick it with them
I'm gonna
too.
sit down with
Shouts
NHale.
out to
All
you.
right,
I love
I'm
you.
so pissed right now. And yet she's been going to the OnlyFans house and not even freaking taking me. Like what? I'm gonna be sitting down with NHale in a few minutes, and God bless Kool Aid. So sitting down with one of my favorite people. Well, I don't want to say that too. Well, your ego, Jesus. Um,
When you say shit like that, I just know you full of shit.
Nah, Nige, it's an honor to sit here with you. I mean, I've known you on and off since you were knee high to a grasshopper.
Mhm.
Your pops being one of my best friends and biggest collaborator, Nate Dogg. Rest in peace, buddy love.
Salute, salute.
And it's so funny. I was thinking about like, making like Can't Knock the Hustle or any of those kind of records and doing it in your living room and Nate telling you to take your little ass to bed.
Mhm, for sure. A lot of people don't know we had to be asleep by like 12 every night. That was like natural. As soon as it
What
hit 12, we had to hit the hay. You feel
what
me?
was it like having Nate Dogg as a dad?
Real like military-ish. Like, of course, with him being in the Marines and shit, you would assume it's like that. And if you went against that shit, you have a hard time. So shout out to
He
my
was a
big brother.
Marine, yeah?
Man, he's in the Marines.
Oh God.
You feel me? So, but if you, my mama, she also raised me well. So, a lot of the times when I was with him, it wasn't much. Like he never whooped me, no shit like that. Like I never even got
No.
hit by him. You feel me? So he really would just talk to me, and I don't remember times where he had to like put me in my place. You feel me?
Well, he was a man of few words,
Yeah, for sure.
but when he spoke, he commanded this respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and I
that's
think
not the way that's gonna go.
yeah, I think I think just the tone in his voice, cause it's same. I see it now having the son and shit. Like when I just tell him something, I think it's the tone in our voice that really make him like react quick and like you won't have to say that shit again to him. You feel me?
Well, now as a parent yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, do you find there's some influence there from like, do you find
Nah,
yourself saying the same things to your kids?
nah, not
Or is it a
really.
different parenting
It's
style?
it's kind of different. Like I parent my own way. I would say it's new. It's new. You feel me? It's new times and shit. You
Hmm.
feel me? So even though he didn't, he kind of was ahead of his time and not whooping me and shit like that. Cause nowadays you whip your kid, you probably viewed as social media. So
Yeah.
many different brains out there. You feel me? So I mean, I only got a 2-year-old, but like I said, like I talk to him the same way. So I would say like I am, but at the same time I'm not because he only 2 and I don't remember like what it was like being a 2-year-old. My pops, you feel me?
Well, you did say something that I mean is the truest thing is Nate was ahead of his time.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
just in that, but in the music. I mean, one thing that we have kind of bonded over, and one thing that we talk a lot about because you were heavily involved in the estate.
Uh huh.
And because we still have business.
Yeah, for
You know what
sure,
I
for sure,
mean? I
for
mean,
sure.
we have why don't you tell a little bit about, like, for instance, Gangster Walk,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
what that's
shit,
evolved
yeah,
into.
of course, a record you just told me, off the record that ain't even out, but that's something that we sampled. I mean, we cleared about a year ago, and they sampled 2 times. You feel me? They sampled that song 2 times, and it's both songs charted, almost hit like top 10. For sure, hit the top 20. They probably still charting now. I ain't kept up like when it went to like 40, but that shit was charting for a long time.
Billion streams on
Yeah, for a
TikTok.
long. I couldn't. Yeah, shit like that. Like I didn't. I knew it was gonna be big, but just looking at it, I'm like, damn, he doing this shit. He not even here. Like, so imagine if he was here, able to even have a voice to speak on this shit. Or, of course, it may would have went a different way, but not so much too different because the song was never released. So maybe the business would have just got brought to him, and why wouldn't he put it out? But ain't no telling. A lot of shit would have happened prior to that.
Well, and it's funny because we were talking off and you didn't know the story of Gangster Walk.
Yeah, for sure,
Like
for
during the
sure.
Music and Me sessions, when we recorded that song, he had said that hey, or sang that part.
Yeah,
And then a couple days later, he was in the studio with Dre and he used that on the next episode. So
that's
Gangster
fire.
Walk was one of my favorite records that I ever did with your pops.
That's
So
hard.
I was heartbroken when that record didn't come
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So the fact that 25 years later, 20 years later, I mean, wherever we're at, or 24 years later, from the time we recorded it, one, as a friend, it's so dope to hear my friend's music still charting,
For sure,
still
for sure.
relevant,
Yeah.
still being sampled, and finally, personally, for that song to come the fuck out.
And
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think many of his peers or just anybody that was around at that time could drop a record right now that's gonna chart.
No.
You feel me? And
Well,
that's
and
humbly, like it ain't me saying it like that.
no,
I'm speaking for myself.
but it's fucking Nate Dogg.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, no,
yeah,
I'm being real.
for
You know,
sure.
it was crazy because we were even talking about like regulate. I was talking to Bams about regulate today. You
Hmm.
know, we were just in general talking about the biggest rap records that have impacted the world.
Hmm.
You know, and regulate is one of those records.
Yeah, for sure. Top
You know what I
five.
mean? Like, it doesn't matter what generation. He said, Bam said to me, he goes, kids know regulate.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
not any records that have ever impacted the world like that. I mean, a lot of them, they may know nothing but a G thing. They may know, but regulate is a staple of not only the time, but it opened the door for like pop gangster rap,
Right,
G-Funk. It
right.
was the first G-Funk record.
For sure.
It was the first rap record to get played on the radio like that. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, and that was what your pops was main contribution to the world, I think, was making rap records palatable. You know, bringing the singing part to it.
Yeah, and a lot of people struggle to this day picking that shit up.
Well,
You
you
know,
know what's so trippy is like,
after came T-Pain.
came a lot of
Salute to
things.
him. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
I'm just saying the direction that we went.
and not just that, but lyrical content.
Uh-huh.
You know, you listen to like Ain't No Fun, right?
Yeah,
Like, I've seen grandmothers singing the lyrics to Ain't No Fun.
for sure.
Like, where it's like, did you really like, but he did it in such a way that it was presentable.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? To where
he
it
took
was like, it wasn't, Nate was a serious cat. You know what I mean? Dry sense of humor. And, you know, it's funny because one of the first times we met, you know, my dad was serious. I'm like, no, your dad was funny. You know what I mean? Like,
everything.
how much of that did you experience from him, of his sense of humor?
A lot of people don't know he was like a comedian.
Straight up.
For sure. Like at the house, that's who I knew. Like I don't even know Nate Dogg. So you saying all this shit, like I'm just letting you go because you know more about that shit than I do. Like a regular, like I was just a son. You feel me? I wasn't around a lot of that shit. Man, he was supportive of me and shit. Like yeah, I remember him being at my football practices and football games and shit. You feel me? So I remember a dad for real. But as he left and shit, and I seen the business wasn't where it was at. That's why I picked up a lot of the history and just learning shit and knowing, what I need to know to move this shit forward.
Well, he had a lot of personalities.
For
You know,
sure.
there was the Buddy Love thing, there was the Nate Dogg thing,
Yeah,
there
for
was
sure.
a,
And then, yeah, well, you already mentioned it, but them is two different people for sure. Or maybe like, nah, it's like three people in there, because Buddy Love sober is a good person, but him drunk is a whole different person. You feel me? So it's
yeah.
like, and that's kind of the real story in there.
It's I don't know. He we always had a sarcastic relationship, and a lot of times people say, that's not Nate Dogg. I said, well, then you didn't know Nate Dogg.
Yeah, for sure.
Our
It
banter.
depends. Like, you got a lot of people, if it's business, it's business. A lot of people didn't have a relationship with them and also be able to do business. Like, so you one of the privileged ones. You feel me? A lot of people, it's a number. And with the number, that's where relationship may have fake came, where we just doing business at that point.
Yeah, and Nate was very much like that, like categories. You know what I mean? Or kept his, like if he was doing business or he was in the studio and he didn't know you and he wasn't comfortable with you, he was a man of very few words.
For sure.
Yes.
Just
no. You know what I mean? But we always had a sarcastic relationship. But you kind of evolved as an artist yourself. What influences did you take from your father as far as the recording process? Like, where did you say, okay, I'm going to follow in Pop's footsteps?
I never really said like I'm gonna follow his footsteps, but
was it ever a thought? Did you ever go, oh, I'm gonna do that, or was it just a natural progression?
I mean, he put me in the studio when I was younger, so like when we lit in the studio was always in our house. So if anything, music was like a part of me. I never really sensed that like it was gonna be like something that I did full time, but I played football, but and when I went to college, I had the studio in my dorm. That's because I'm used to just having a studio in my house. You know, like right now I got the studio at my crib, and that's where most of my songs is made. But it was just like a way of living that we lived with him that it's kind of like, you know, that's kind of like set the standard for me in a sense. And then when he left, it like felt like damn, like it was going away, and like somebody had to come like pick this shit up. You feel
Well,
me?
rewind just a little bit. You mentioned about the football.
Uh-huh.
Like you were on the path of going to professional sports, basically.
Yeah.
You were really. You're an amazing athlete.
Mm.
You know what I mean? The college thing and the football thing and all of that. That's where we first started. You know, became more friends, became
That's what
more
I was doing at
close,
the time.
and
Yeah.
that's what exactly.
Yeah.
So where did you say, I want to do the music
Honestly,
thing?
I mean, it wasn't a decision like that, but um, like I said, I had the dorm. I mean, the studio in my dorm. But while I was in college, I was dealing with a lot of shit personally, like on my mama's side, like that I don't talk about much, but like I didn't know where she was gonna be sleeping at some nights.
Mm.
You feel me? Um, so yeah, like and then like you got niggas like I love him, but like you got people like Snoop that was saying like here go like the new Nate Dogg or he the new Nate, knowing like our business ain't where it's at. So like if anything, let the people know like, or don't say nothing, cause nigga you ain't. I mean I love him, like so I don't wanna,
Yeah.
cause it's but like the business ain't right. So
Was that
you're not about
tough
to let.
having those shadows?
I mean, not really, cause I come from that whole system over there.
What do you mean system?
Man, I know the whole dog system. I know the whole I know the whole layer of it, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm really a product of that. And I went that way. Shout out to Spank, that's my nigga, his son. And like me and him is like, you know, we like was the ones, you feel me? As we got older though, like we made it understood though, like nigga, we on the same time. But if you come across Spank right now, my nigga a surfer, he walk around barefooted. Like nigga, he drive a motherfucking pickup truck. Nigga like Snoop would wake up and send that nigga 50K.
Mm.
You feel me? Like just cuz, but like you would never know. I know what he do, but like just like me, like we do street shit that really pay the bills for real. Cause that's like nigga where we really come from. That's what we was on. You feel me?
That had to have been kind of a trip, though. I mean, having that many uncles that was it intimidating at all?
Nah, I mean, like right now, right? You like a person that I'm seeing advocating for like the healthcare and shit like that, right? Like nigga, I'm seeing early that like the people that like my uncles that's being idolized, like that they shit is not in order from like the business wise, like all this shit. So when I'm seeing people do this, I'm like, nigga, we 20 years late. We got legends right now that look fucked up.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like RP Nate, but like we got motherfuckers that's alive that look bad.
Yeah.
And we still like, you know, love them up, of course, because it's who they are. But like, nigga, we shouldn't have been doing shit like this. These is people that, like, you know, that we damn near worship in a sense. So like, it should have been shit. It should have been shit established or in place.
You know, that something that you said just now about the business and how people should have it together. That's one thing that always impressed me about you. You know, and what we were talking about at the beginning about still having business, a lot of the interaction that I have with the estate or with the records, like even this gangster walk situation with that, it's been a really cool journey, and I haven't had an opportunity to say this, but thank you. You know, it's
I
been
think,
fun
yeah,
working with you.
yeah, and I thank you for sure. And you know, hopefully, if we get some business closed down, I can say thank you as well for the person that we're looking into. But you know,
You
it's
know, and I,
way
I do it because you're one of my best friend's kids.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm
And I could
saying?
tell that just what you was doing with my brother, shout out Lil Nate, cause
Yeah.
that's how I met you. Like you did, you know. And I don't know if he appreciates you as much as I visioned, you know, what
I
you
love
do
him.
for him, cause or what you did for him, cause it was a time where you know, that was a time for him where he that's what he wanted to do. and you helped
Mm.
him, take those first steps, I would say. You feel me? And I was at a lot of those sessions to see, even if, whatever, the outcome was out of it, it was, dope to have you there to be in environments like this. So now we come to some shit like this. It's like, nigga, we started in shit like this. You feel me?
Well, it worked both ways. I mean, the place that I was at that time, even the first time that we met, like you had even heard stuff about me that was like, whatever, whatever. And I was
Right,
just
right,
like, give me the opportunity to prove myself. Don't listen to nothing else.
right.
But you gave
Even
me
till
that
this, I'm be
opportunity.
real, Miss. Till this day, a lot of people don't like how I fuck with you. But I could give a
But let me
come
ask
on.
you a
I fuck
question.
with who I fuck with.
Well, but let
You
me ask you
know?
a question. What
It
is the industry's problem with me, or these
ain't even in
people's?
this. I mean,
What is the people's problem with me? I still can't figure it out. All I ever do
I'm
is
new
try to
to
help
the
people.
scene, dog. I don't know. I'm new to the scene, and from my like from what if coming to me though, what it may sound like is like maybe like whatever may have happened, somebody wanted you to stay there or wanted that to be the story, wanted it to end there. But ain't nobody perfect. That's what a
Hmm.
hater is, if you ask me. Because when something happened to somebody, you wanted that to be the end of it. You didn't want them to shake back. So it's a situation like that. So I listen to them, but I don't know. I know more about you than I know about them. So it's like it's not much that somebody can tell me about. You feel me? Unless this is my motherfucking, somebody real close to me, and it's like it ain't
Well,
nothing. It's my
thank you.
brother, and I'm closer to you than him, to be real. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
We grown, man. And I'm
And
out
but
here.
that's why when we relinked or linked, I said, give me the opportunity to prove myself. Don't judge any man by what you hear. And that's what I respected.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
as we have created this relationship, it's been such an honor not only to watch you grow and learn from the mistakes of all of us, you know what I mean?
Right.
All of us, but then take the business on and to be able to work with you like on the copyrights and the estate stuff and the new releases and even talk the past business. Your business acumen is your own, and
For
that's
sure.
what I respect the most about you is you are your own man.
Yeah.
You're not Nate Dogg's kid anymore in my eyes.
I
Do you know
mean,
what I'm saying? You
it's a
are, but I you
yeah,
know
but
what I
look, like
mean.
it's just being that it's a lot of layers to this shit. A lot of people won't, you feel me? A lot of people won't be able to consume me properly. But
Mm.
like it's a lot, like, you feel me? Like a lot of people don't know the shit that I do with the estate. Cause I'm not that's not what's like talked about. Like I don't you know that and
Yeah.
but what you know is the like the good parts and how we still able to do good business outside of what we dealing with. Like a lot of people don't know. So this is just one example, right? I was in college when this shit happened. So I got about 8 siblings. I got, some older than me, some younger than me. I'm like in the middle. Um, I got an older sister. At the time she was doing bad.
Hmm.
Our estate is ran by, we got an executor that was court appointed
Hmm.
because
Wait, so Nate did not have a will?
no,
So when he passed,
he had like something personally that he like I want to say I don't I don't
like a
it don't
directive?
I'm not sure. Something of which he included four kids in, and of course I was one of the kids. But this never was pushed through the courts because it wasn't, nothing official. So to answer your question, no.
But it's
But
been 10 years of fighting.
nigga, longer than that. But yeah,
Sheesh.
and when you don't got no will, nigga, that's how long it's gonna take when you got 8 people that can go get 8 attorneys, nigga.
And when you're going through grief and all of the other stuff with
And
it,
then
and
you got
people's egos and
well, if I can be honest, like the first couple years, like we owed taxes. Nigga, we had motherfucking hospital bill. The motherfucking the hospital
did he have
tried to
insurance?
sue. Those is questions I'm not I'm I was young.
Rob?
And the shit I'm growing to is I'm on what we can do moving forward. But shit like that, I'm not even sure.
Well,
But
but
it
when
don't
you were
sound
saying
like it
hospital
if
bills, I was just kind
that's
of
my point. Like it don't sound like it though. Like
yeah.
that's what I was getting to. It don't sound like it. But like the main thing that I was getting at and knowing all this, which is, not things that, like my business is set up way more, like this is what you get out of that. You learn and you feel me, you grow and we able to continue
Well, I
this
can
shit.
imagine you learned a lot through
Yeah.
that time.
It's my business is better than my show. I can be honest with you. Like, and those are things that I deal with. You feel me? But so the shit was court appointed. So now we got a dude that's basically in position that is calling the shots. He, which is an attorney. He got people under him that he got to pay. That's really doing the work, and then we pay the whole firm as one. But at the time, in the beginning, with like before knowing all the business I know, which is a couple of years ago, she needed money, and she reached out to him. We had a company, or he would direct us to a company that would give us an advance. So at the time, you can hit him up. He directs you. You get 5 bands. Pay when the distribution start. You pay back 8, whatever. Distribution.
Is this somebody that has experience in the music business, or is this just somebody that
This
the
is
court just
somebody
said random,
right? Just
treat it like a normal probate case,
straight
and
up.
you're the
Exactly.
that knows nothing about the music?
Exactly.
Oh God! Did they know who Nate Dogg was?
You hear me? Come on. So that's where we at. But
Hollywood.
luckily, I'm cause I'm nigga like, and when he died, I wasn't even 18, and I don't want to hear nothing about this shit. I don't want to talk like I'm chasing this NFL dream. Like, nigga, I can't.
Well, and your
I
dad
already
just
got-
died.
You feel me? And
Like,
then I
enough
already got
stress.
some shit going on with my mama. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, nigga, it was no like nothing for me. You feel me? There, like, so nigga, it's like fuck, nigga can't lock in up here because I'm worried about this shit. So, and then I smoked weed. So nigga, if niggas know my story, like nigga, I got kicked off of the team for smoking. You feel me? Type shit. But like nigga, I'm dealing with shit that I should I wasn't ready for that shit. Like nigga, I had some shit going on still to where
I
had to-
remember I was
you
there.
feel me? So, but yeah, back to the main story. She hit dude up, and like I said, I didn't. And in this time, I didn't hit him up and got an advance before. This is times where like nigga, we wasn't getting distributed. We don't know what the money looked like. We was we had to us, we still was paying back certain shit, and it's like nigga, we wasn't seeing this money. This shit started coming recently type shit. But like I said, you can hit him up, get 5, pay back 8. She hit the nigga up, needed 5, right? Whatever. He directed her to somebody. Do you know she signed away all her rights for $5,000? Her full percentage. She don't own nothing. And nigga, we started getting distributions a couple of years ago. Do you know every time we get what we get, it's going to a random nigga?
Wait, so there's just
That
some
the state fucking told her about?
so
straight
some random cat has
Is
a
on
piece
the-
of the Nate Dogg estate?
Man, look into this shit. It ain't even out there. Like, niggas don't know this shit. Like, I don't think I ever said this. I'm telling you because
Wow.
you really my nigga. And it's like, you feel me? But like, nigga, it's a random nigga right now. Every time we get in the bag, every kid is on there getting a percentage, and it's a random nigga name. And it says for her name on there.
And it's equal to what the kids are getting.
My nigga. Not me, because and it's not putting myself out
No,
there,
no,
but
don't.
I get more than my sisters because my mom was going to court for me when I was in college. Because like I just said, I didn't want to deal with this shit. But my mom was, showing up, and she was, advocating for me. And what they did was say, "Here, mom, go give you good lives, guys, more." And my mama fighting for me. She not understanding how to look at this shit as a whole. But end of the day, they gave me more than a little bit more than my siblings. But now that don't mean shit. But the main thing is there's somebody random on the shit, and it's like, nigga, we got to make a decision right now. And right now, that person I mentioned to you is siding with his with his wife.
Wait, so does that person have a vote in the what?
Come on, and that's what I'm facing. So I got all my siblings with me, which is most.
I don't mean to
Talk-
laugh. I'm sorry,
It's
brother.
some crazy shit.
Yeah,
But I got all my siblings with me, and I got to get them to understand what's going on. And then you got the wife who said she was it's a whole story behind that where she not even supposed to be there, and now she got an attorney that's talking with this dude who making sure they're on the same team. And it's pretty much like on opposite sides. And what they want to do ain't what we want to do, because I want to get this shit moving forward with decisions being made by me and my siblings. But nobody know, like, nigga, you feel me? This is what, like, the other side is. The other side is, you feel me, the stepmom, and then she got somebody with her, because that brings them to a certain percentage that is, like, arguable, or, in court, it means something pretty much. But it ain't been brought up. The judge don't know this. Like, the judge, don't know it's an issue. It's not like it hasn't been brought up as an issue, but, like, nigga, it's a problem. Like, right now, there's two things being said. There's two sides of what's going on. There's the kids, my nigga, and then there's the stepmom and the guy who has no business of being on this shit. That's with the stepmom. So how the fuck could that side be saying anything right or for anything good or that ain't nothing. You feel me? It's all some corporate bullshit to keep. So in their eyes, probably keep it going because she's paying an attorney and shouldn't be here, and he shouldn't even be here already. So longer we keep it going, and then end of the day we cutting the checks. You feel me? And milking these
Yeah.
accounts. You feel me?
Oh wow.
Come on, cuz. So like I said, we got court next month. I said what I said to my attorney. I sent the nigga 2 emails because the first one I was too emotional. Second one I told him, I'm less emotional. This is what we need to do. This is how we gonna do it. I got, my siblings with me. Fuck what they talking about. And then, he
You
told
know what?
me
No
we
one,
under pressure.
Nige, no one can fault you for that. You know what I
But this
mean?
is what the fuck I
it's
deal
dope that
with
you.
on top of whatever the fuck you see me do on Instagram because that's also what I'm thinking as an artist because this is what I'm looking at as and what I'm feeling at that time. And I still have to feel, I'm still
Yeah, but you know what,
real,
Nige? You
like nigga,
look,
it is
but
what it
you
is.
still look. No matter what the hell we do, or what you do, you're a young cat and you're learning your way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I look at it. Sometimes I see you do some wild shit and I go, dude, that's my nephew. I don't give a fuck. Like, I know what he's doing. Like, he's figuring
Hey,
himself out. But
whatever
then I see
comes
you
to
do,
my brain,
but you
I
know what
do
I
it.
see about you, bro, is I see you do some wild shit. But then I'll see you correct, and then I'll see you go, like, walk down Skid Row and start handing out money.
I mean, I do that regardless.
You
But
know
it's
what I
like,
mean? No,
I know
but I
what
say,
I'm good at
but
is
you
though.
always recenter
look.
yourself and go do some good shit.
I got the internet beat though. Like, and I beat that shit before you was there. Let me tell you how though. Like I know how to get somebody to be like, what the fuck? But after you say what the fuck, if you're not still watching and like I'm an artist, like if you're not listening to what I'm saying, then um the IQ level is not there. And nigga,
Yeah.
my education is too large to know, and I reach a large amount of people. So I have to get some shit that's gonna get out there. And the viral shit is the whoa part of the shit. But the other factor of it is
Sucking
nigga,
up.
I'm laying something in there. Like nigga, the Skid Row shit, like nigga, nigga, I'm talking about I'm passing out fives. Like nigga, I did that video 6 times. Each time I'm passing out fives to get the right one. So nigga can count there, but aside from me, I do this shit every day. I live right there, nigga. I give away money on that's
Yeah,
within
but
my
I'm saying,
hold on. But I'm not. It's a
okay.
point in this. I give away money, on a regular within. It's in my, it's in my character. I give away clothes every day, like it's regular shit. I get this shit free from Pro Club. Niggas know that this is a Pro Club. I go throw after this. But on some shit like in that song, after you seen that I was walking around by Skid Row, the first fucking bar is telling you that I suffer from mental health. And then I said, so in them I see myself. Like, nigga, anything else that you say after that to me, if you didn't pick that up, nigga, I'm gonna treat you a certain way because you ain't even there with me mentally to know like what the fuck I just told you. And I'm like, it's like a call out for like, nigga, you not even able to help me. Like, nigga, I'm going, you feel me? Like, nigga, I already have that wall set up. So if you consuming my shit at that level, like go ahead. Like, bro, I just told you like the shit that I'm really dealing with. You think I care about the internet? Like, it's viral though. Like, go look at it. It's viral. The numbers there. They sent it 2,000. Like, it's there. So what are we really scaling though at the end of the day? Like, nigga, because I put the message in there and it didn't get picked up like at all. You just said I cleaned it up. Like, no, nigga, the next day I went out there with my boy who has a fucking organization for his autism's, his son he's blind and got autism, and he out there once every first and third Sunday, and I've been going out there the last few first and third Sundays.
I'm not saying you clean it up.
Hold on. It ain't even you my nigga, miss. I'm telling you how it's viewed because that didn't get no likes. You right, that shit got no likes, and I'm glad we able to speak on it, and you really somebody that I see and we can talk on it.
Yeah.
Because the one that went viral was the shit that maybe like, you feel me, that ain't really consumed right, but I'm telling you, I'm aware of the shit.
You're aware of your mental health. You know what I'm saying?
That don't mean the help is there.
Okay, perfect. What do you think is missing when it comes to the help? Is it the interfacing? Is it the insurance? Is it the how people are
That's
approached?
too deep for me. I don't know.
But
where
okay,
I'm
so
fucked up at is look like
what do you need is what I'm asking. Like how could I help you with it?
I don't. I'm a nigga who's suffering. How can somebody suffer and tell you that? Like, look, let me tell you how. I read comments, right? It ain't just me. It's my whole culture. I read comments, right? And it's the shit that I think. So, like, if you see somebody like, so we got this black on black shit going on. Somebody just got killed at a car wash in my culture. Him and his little daughter. Long live Lil Ronnie or something. It's been viral, yada, yada, right? In the comments and shit, though, you would catch on. It'd be like, somebody be like, I'll never respect the streets because dudes like George Zimmerman still walking, right? Kids today probably don't even know George Zimmerman, my nigga. But to me, I was a kid and that shit fucked me up. You feel me? Like I don't know what it did, but like I just get random thoughts like nigga, like about Trayvon Martin. Like I knew the nigga. And I don't know if it was how they put it to us on the media, cause I was young. I didn't know how to read through this shit how I do now. But like that shit, like that fucked me up. Like nigga, I spoke at a panel the other day, like nigga, police and shit. Like nigga, I don't got no I had a case and I was a felon, but like nigga, all that shit dropped out. You feel me? Like to where my record clean, all that, but like nigga, still one day I think like nigga, they gonna kick my door in. I done did something. Like
Wow.
nigga, as I'm driving, like nigga, I got a nice ass car. I'm thinking nigga, they gonna you feel me? Luckily they don't know it's me in this motherfucker. You feel me?
So you feel like you always have to look over your shoulder.
Yeah, and that's just one aspect of this shit. Look like my people don't get it as people. You feel me? Like I don't know, like look like black people going, like we literally killing each other. Like nigga, I love the fuck out of Mexicans because nigga they love each other, but they got their own problems. But like nigga, my people are literally killing each other. Like that shit is.
And it's hard for me to understand because I see like you in bands.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You guys are always together. You guys are always making music. And then when someone says to me that there's this black and brown thing, I'm like, what the fuck you talking about?
I grew up in a neighborhood like that. It's called Hawaiian Gardens. Nigga, they hate black people. They see a black person right now, they probably shoot at the nigga. And I couldn't tell you what's going on or what's wrong, but that ain't my approach. Like I like nigga.
And what's so crazy if you go back even like to, Texas and
Oh
Mexico
yeah,
and all of that kind of stuff, it was the Mexicans that said no to the colonizers about slavery that started the fucking war. Do you know what I'm saying? Mexicans and blacks have always been.
the story the same too. Like a lot of the shit is the same. Like we meet right there, like you said. I don't and to the core, like we don't, especially right now if you read in a room. Like with a nigga like Kendrick, like nigga he put Pace on Lefty on the album and shit. Like if you really read in a room and knowing what's going on, like nigga, like y'all got the court over here kind of more than we do as far as what's next. It just gotta be more of a like nigga, are you ready to present what's next? Because the people looking because we had somebody like Kendrick say, look at this. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's all about like me just with perspective, and that's just one little aspect of it. You got people like Fluffy ass killing the game and what he do. Like nigga, I'm a huge fan of the Fluffy comedian dude. You feel me? Out of Long Beach, like nigga, you feel
Dope.
me? And I was just watching it's a show on Netflix called like Running Point. It's a Mexican cat on there. He may actually mention Fluffy to bring this in my brain, but you feel me? It's a big show on Netflix where he on there, but I, back like to the back in hoods and shit, I think it's certain shit that can't be, changed. It's almost like jail politics and prison politics. That much I can't speak on.
Well, I think you're changing it. That's what
Yeah, oh for
I
sure,
it's
for
not
sure.
happening
But
fast
it's
enough.
yeah, it's
Like I see
yeah,
you and
yeah,
Rowdy, I see you and
yeah,
Lefty, I
yeah,
see you and I mean,
yeah.
I see
That shit in me.
Quick and
Yeah,
I mean, Problem, what they, I mean, I'm seeing everybody working together more and less of the segregation of
yeah.
color
And I
lines.
don't know what that shit in me. Like, I don't know what the like the segregated part is about, but nigga, I'm fully damn near Mexican. I mean, I'm about to go get some tacos when I leave here. Like it's different, like nigga, when you really look around, like nigga, and it's no problem. But like my people, like nigga, we a lot of us hate ourselves, nigga. Like a lot of us, nigga, we dealing with emotions like that, nigga, to where they just intertwine, like to where I
While they're
I can
telling you that
remember
you're not supposed to have emotions.
right, but
You have to be hard.
yeah, but if I'm being honest, like I didn't. There was a time where when I wasn't in a certain position that I'm in, where I had those same emotions. So like I can't go back and I can't tell you that it's okay, but like nigga, I felt that same way, and it's and maybe it's because the environment I was in. So maybe that's why I think community is big. I think it's important to really, if you come from a certain place, always give back to those certain communities or areas, no matter how it's viewed or how it's looked, because somebody gonna be able to tell, like grab the message and what you're doing.
Well, if I haven't been there enough, like for you, like I'm sorry.
It's
because
all
if
good.
you ever have a fucking problem,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck all
Nah,
the
it's
podcast
good.
shit. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah. Nah, it's good. Like I
homie,
deal with this
if
shit,
you
man.
ever,
Yeah.
you,
But it's like,
Miz, you know, I'm always gonna be there.
right now, like I'm converting to be a Muslim. Nigga, this my fifth day.
What?
Straight up. This my fifth day of Ramadan, nigga.
You doing the whole FOI thing, or you?
My nigga, yeah. My girl's a Middle Eastern Muslim. So
Wow.
I'm on Sunday. I'm supposed to be going. I forgot what it's called. I'm my
For
bad.
structure, that's really good.
Look, I'm
You know what
supposed
I
to be
mean?
going
And
somewhere.
to the spirituality of it, I'm so happy for you
It's
that you're
just
finding something that
yeah,
you know what I mean, that you can embrace that's bigger than
right, exactly.
us. You know
Right.
what I
And
mean?
that's
Like
all it's
that
about
is
for me.
awesome. Good
Because
job,
I'm not
buddy.
about to Hey, look, I'm not about to
As long as you
break my
find
neck
something,
trying to
brother.
fix my
You know what I
people.
mean?
They told me what they want to do already, but it's a lot of black people that's Muslims too. So
Yeah.
that's just what I'm on. Yeah, I'm on my 6-day fasting and shit. And
I
on
met
Sunday,
Farrakhan.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
man. So, but I'm more on. I'm like really like shout out to them. You know, my people that do it. But like
Tony Muhammad, I met them all.
I don't
Cam
even
is a good friend of mine. I mean,
like. I'm trying to, man. I don't know how to like. We about to,
look.
they tell me I got to kill an animal on Sunday.
What?
Like we gonna kill
Look,
an animal.
whatever. What I'm saying is
real shit though, man. Real shit.
As long as you're working on yourself, you're asking the questions and you're finding something that will help you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
and look, it doesn't have to be all in. You know, at first, put your toe in the water, ask the questions, you know what I mean, until you are comfortable. And you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But you do have to be okay.
Right.
Because I love you.
Right,
a lot of us love you. And I'm not
yeah.
you know I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're my little bro.
Yeah, it's genuine
so
with you for sure.
as long as you are okay, then
yeah. Nah, for sure.
you know what I mean? And you can find
I would tell you if I wasn't
I don't
too,
give
like,
a fuck
nigga.
whether it's a church or a whorehouse, as
Like,
long as you are okay. I shouldn't say it like
look,
that. But I should but as long as you're okay.
Right. Look,
And dealing with it. You know, because I know how it manifests. I mean, your father having a stroke, I don't know what contributed to it or what he was going through mentally. I know that there are a lot of pressures with military, with family, being a young father, the music business, the gangbanging, whatever the fuck he was into. But I'm just saying, a lot of us just losing Irv, losing, you know, so many people from just not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And mental health these days is a big killer among all of us. You know what I'm saying? Of not being able to just, whether it's pills and fentanyl or finding other ways to numb ourselves and doing stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just glad that you're finding another
you saying that's okay?
outlet. What?
You saying the stuff you just described is okay?
No, I'm saying I'm saying no. I'm saying
so no pills and all that.
No, fuck no.
Man, nigga, we all.
I mean, you can smoke a little weed, but motherfucker,
we are
you tripping.
Off all the drugs over here. So
Okay,
if not, get us help.
We had a good time. We were talking to Nige. It's now going off the fucking rails. I'm proud of you. I love you. Thanks for stopping by.
Man, yeah.
Don't do drugs.
We gotta end this spicy, man.